on Not My Day. I'm here with Amanda Gaudiosi and Ashley Ramos, and today we are going to report on 17 Democratic lawmakers arrested outside the Supreme Court today, the House passing same-sex marriage, and the January 6th hearing updates. But before we get started, how's everybody doing today? Amanda, Ashley, how y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's really crazy to be with you guys today. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen Amanda since last semester on Friday Buzz, and Ashley, you're a fresh face, so it's good to meet you.
Nice to
Well,
meet you too.
thank you. Well, let's get this show on the road. Ashley, what's going on in the world today?
A lot to catch up on. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ashley, and I'm joining you on this Wednesday morning from 90.3 WNSC Upper Montclair. In Montclair news, a student drop-in center with counseling, a mobile library, student serenity room, and a farm-to-table garden are new welcome additions supplementing the Montclair High School's justice program. The Justice Montclair has been working to make students feel safe and heard in Montclair schools since 2018. For nearly 5 years, the program staff has worked to cultivate an equitable environment where all individuals will benefit from shared learned experiences, according to its mission posted on the district website. In New Jersey news, a small plane crashed Wednesday near Sky Manor Airport in Hunterdon County, leaving the pilot with minor injuries, officials said. The single-engine Cessna 150 crashed shortly after takeoff after noon in Pittstown, according to the federal administration. Only the pilot was on board. In national news, Los Angeles County DA Gaston is disbanding a group of victim advocates and prosecutors in the DA's office who notify victims and their family members about their parole hearings. Sources tell Fox News. The parole unit, also known as the Lifer Unit, will be disbanded by the end of the year. The move comes after Gaskin has banned prosecutors from attending parole hearings. And now for some weather. It is currently 81 degrees. Today there will be a high of 93 and a low of 77. Tomorrow is looking like it will be even hotter at 97 degrees. This weekend it will stay hot in the 90s, but we will also have some rain, so pack an umbrella. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much for that newscast. That was great. And can we talk about this weather real quick? I don't know what this is going on right now. It's real toasty, and I'm not really liking it. It's very
No, yeah, there's a heat
spicy.
wave all week, right?
Yeah, all week it's supposed to be in the high 90s, and I'm sitting here like, I'm not going outside. I'm staying in my house, and it sucked because, like, global warming and things. I have asthma. Other people got asthma. I can't breathe, but should be a really interesting week. Wear your sunscreen, yo. We don't do being burnt out here. But moving on, we have a very special guest in the studio today, the sportsman himself, Cameron Martin. Are you here? Are you out there?
I'm here. Hello, world. Hello, 90.3 WC Upper Montclair listeners. Hello, Facebook. Hello, everybody here. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. And we're better because we have Amanda tell us what's going on in sports.
Whoa, stop it. Stop it. Y'all can do it. Y'all can do it yourselves, but
That's true. But we got to have the OG sports guy telling us what's going on.
I gotcha. So, in WNBA news, the UConn Mystics defeated the New York Liberty with behind Alyssa Thomas's 18 points. Thomas did the thing, 18 points and 13 boards with 5 assists. And the season had 6 steals, did the job done, 83-63. Then the Atlanta Dream knocked over the Aces. Tiffany Hayes had 31 points. Ryan Howard had 24. And the Dream took the Aces down 92-76. They started eating up. Then the LA Sparks they gave the Fever a 10th straight loss with a score of 86-79. 35 points from Nika Ojimaki, and she was squeaking right there. You feel me? Then the All-Star game right there. So MLB All-Star weekend occurred, and the NL, Paul Goldschmidt hit a 418-foot home run. Cool, right? The top of the next inning, boom. Giancarlo Stanton hits a 2-run blast, and then back to back, Byron Buxton hits another run blast, gives the American League a 3-2 advantage, 3-2 win. Giancarlo Stanton was named the All-Star Game MVP. And on top of that, we got more baseball coming back tomorrow. All-Star break is over. Getting right back in the swing of things. So that's your sportscast. Looking forward to what's going to occur this upcoming week.
Sports. Thank
Sports.
you, Cam. Appreciate that so much. And also operating the board while we're all on Zoom. We very much appreciate you. All right, moving on into our first story. We're getting to a lot of politics this beginning of this first hour. And we're going to start with 17 Democratic lawmakers getting arrested outside of the Supreme Court during an abortion rights protest. So a number of Democratic representatives, including members of the squad and House leadership, were arrested outside of the Supreme Court on Tuesday afternoon after protesting the recent decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat of New York, and Catherine Clark, Democrat of Massachusetts, were among those arrested for blocking traffic. Clark serves as the assistant speaker, the number 4 position in Democratic leadership. Clark said in a statement following her arrest, quote, "The extremist Republican Party is determined to take us back in time and take away our rights. I refuse to stand on the sidelines as the rampage continues. I'm furious and heartbroken, and I would profoundly fight for our rights to abortion and all of our constitutional rights. They can arrest me, but we won't allow them to arrest freedom," end quote. The Capitol Police said they had arrested 35 people, including 17 members of Congress, for, quote, "crowding, obstructing, and accommodating," end quote. Law enforcement officials said they had, quote, "already given our standard 3 warnings. Some of the demonstrators are refusing to get out of the street, so we are starting to make arrests," end quote. While the democratically controlled House passed legislation last week that would protect the right to an abortion, it is set to die in the Senate. The June 24th decision by the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade has resulted in millions of Americans losing their access to abortion and delaying life-saving pregnancy care for other women. I'm not even surprised that we're seeing this right now. We're going to continue to see this all across the country with people protesting what's going on. Not surprised that Democratic lawmakers especially are getting arrested. Honestly, they kind of love to put Democratic lawmakers behind bars or do something that kind of discredits them. But how do you guys feel about this story right now? We got a lot of tension going on in our political climate right now. It's just going to continue to happen. So what do you suspect in these coming months or weeks?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at this point, nothing really surprises me as we're talking about this. I mean, I hope that it gets better. I hope that the Supreme Court, I mean, in my opinion, this is my opinion, by the way, I feel like nothing is going to get done safely if abortion is banned. So I just think that,
Yeah,
words.
no, seriously, because it's at this point, because it's always in topic of conversation. How many times do we have to say that abortion is a right, abortion is healthcare, abortion is quite literally legalizing abortion is the only way that safe abortions are going to be able to happen. And it's just frustrating to continue to say these things every single week. The same thing with other stories. It's just like you want to literally scream it to the heavens that we need to fight this. We need to do something about this, and then continuously nothing gets done. So I feel you on that. It's just hard to find the words to express your frustration sometimes, and especially in these situations where you even see some legislators out and protesting side by side and people aren't even listening to them. 17 Democratic lawmakers is a lot, y'all, and even their voices aren't even getting heard in this situation. It just seems at this point how are we not in a place where we can communicate effectively about these topics?
Yeah, it's hard because, like you said, ever since the start of this summer buzz, I feel like we've been talking about this, and it's just the same thing every week, if not getting worse. So it's hard to find the right words to talk about because nothing's getting done. And it's just frustrating, especially I know me and Lara, we talk about it week after week, and to see nothing getting done is sad, and to see people trying to fight for this and nothing happening, it's sad.
Yeah. So hopefully in the coming days or weeks, hopefully, first of all, they get out of custody because, first of all, you shouldn't be getting in trouble for protesting your rights. But I guess they were blocking traffic. It's always something. I don't understand how somehow peaceful protest people still get arrested. Lara just said right now, like, I still can't believe they got arrested for blocking traffic or whatever this excuse was. Honestly, I just feel that always happens. We saw the same thing when the Black Lives Matter protests were happening. Was there were protests that were super, super peaceful, and they were just going about their business, and somehow they always break out violent once the police get involved. People always end up in jail once the police get involved. But once people are minding their business and just trying to speak up for what they believe in, they don't like that. They're trying to rock the boat, and it's so frustrating because it's just like, if you don't want us to use our voice, but then you're still going to throw it back in our face that, like, oh, we should advocate for ourselves and we should elect people in office that we care about and stuff, but at the same time not allow us to use that voice. It's a little contradictory, to say the least. But hopefully in the coming weeks we hear a little bit more about their perspectives on what happened during that protest. People get out of custody and we can continue to fight what happened with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. But some other stuff is going on in politics right now. Amanda, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So, like you said, there's a lot more going on. Yesterday, the U.S. House overwhelmingly approved legislation to protect same-sex and interracial marriages. This rises amid concerns that the Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, abortion access, could jeopardize other rights criticized by many conservative Americans. In a robust but lopsided debate, Democrats argued intensely and often personally in favor of enshrining marriage equality in federal law, while Republicans steered clear of openly rejecting gay marriage. Instead, leading Republicans portrayed this bill as unnecessary amid other issues facing the nation. Yesterday's election year roll call, 267 to 157, was a partially political strategy, forcing all House members, Republicans and Democrats, to go on the record with their views. It also reflected the legislative branch pushing back against the aggressive court that has sparked fears it may revisit apparently settled U.S. laws. Wary of political fallout, GOP leaders did not press their lawmakers to hold the party line against the bill. It said, in all, 47 Republicans joined Democrats in voting for passage.
Yeah, I just really love when people want to demonstrate and be so public with their homophobia, in terms of Republicans just wanting to outly say, no, we don't want to support gay marriage. No, we don't even need to pass this bill. Why would we do that? Doesn't quite make sense. I feel like you're just hurting yourself in the long run, being so boldly with your hatred. But I'm glad that they're taking steps to protect same-sex marriage and even interracial marriage right after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. When I don't know about anybody else, but when I saw that opinion, when they were saying that they were going to relook at gay marriage and potentially just relook at that case, I had a pit in my stomach. I was like, in what dystopian world are we living in to where you just cannot accept, you can't even just cope with the fact that other people just want to love who they want to love. Other people may not believe exactly what you believe. It doesn't always have to be the same, but you have to accommodate the overwhelmingly amount of different people in this country. You know what I'm saying? Amanda, how do you feel about this?
Oh, no, I definitely agree with you. I think, like you said, it's a good thing that we're talking about it, but at the same time, like you said, I cannot believe that in 2022 there are still people who are openly against gay marriage. It's
Yeah, it
just
doesn't make any sense. Like,
Uh,
if wait, what's up, Cam?
So here's what I say is this: at the end of the day, if you love who you love, so why are you gonna withhold someone from loving each other? Like, what's the point of why do you care so much about what someone else is doing with their life? Like, how is that going to really affect you negatively?
Exactly.
You're seeing somebody, so it's like, okay, cool. Like, why can't you just accept them? Oh, it's respect
The
that.
door.
Like,
The door. Seriously.
it doesn't make sense to me that people in 2022 are so heavily hostile against gay marriage, any kind of marriage actually, doesn't really make it like just let people love each other. You feel me? Like it doesn't make any sense at all to try to withhold somebody or be so negative towards them.
Exactly. And I you hear all of the arguments in terms of people's religious beliefs and X, Y, and Z. And it's just that it's the fact that religion should never be in politics. We all know this. It just should never happen. It was not supposed to be a thing. We aren't supposed to put our religious beliefs in terms of making political decisions. And I don't, even with that in mind, I still don't understand how homophobic Republicans still want to be like, no, we're not going to pass it, even though we have people in this country that deserve the right to get married, to love, to live as anybody else who's cis heterosexual in this country. It's not just a cis heterosexual world. This world is for everybody. This country is for everybody. And I feel like our legislators tend to forget that, which doesn't make sense. I don't understand what this boring, plain vision, this oppressive vision of this country that they tend to have. But the fact that we have to go out of our way to make sure that the right to marriage, everybody getting married, is in our country, is emphasized in our country, doesn't make sense. Because when you look at Roe v. Wade, it was overturned on the basis that choice was not necessarily in the Constitution. So if we're talking about choice not being in the Constitution, that looks at almost every single case that has to do with choice, and including gay marriage and including interracial marriage. I'm not saying gay marriage is a choice, but the choice to like love somebody and commit to somebody, that is such a big commitment for somebody. Because if you love somebody so much and you have that taken away from you, I can't imagine that. And I just don't understand this whole thing when creating the basis of hatred on this country. It's so frustrating, honestly.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. It is really sad. And like Lara said in the chat before, um, what did she say? She said something and I was like, yes, like I so agree with this. Oh, exactly. How does this impact your life? That is a thing I've never understood
Fully,
about
fully.
everything, especially with the Roe v. Wade and even this, the gay marriage. I don't understand how, if it's not impacting your life, how you need to go against it and be so pressed, especially when it's not affecting you.
Exactly. It just, what are we living in the Handmaid's Tale? Like seriously, I don't,
Literally.
literally, I don't understand. Like they want to be so controlling over everybody's choices where no one's getting hurt. It's based off of love. It's based off of happiness. Let people live. I don't get it. And you can have your own preconceived notions about people or your own opinions about people in the safety of your own mind. Do not bring that stuff over here where other people have to sacrifice such a huge part of themselves so that you can be comfortable. No, that's just not what we do here. I
Listen,
don't understand.
there's the America is based on on this principle right here. Everyone has the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you going to try to withhold any of them from anybody who is America? Like if you say that it's America for all, but like you're gonna hold back on a certain group of people, like it's not, you're not really following you're so hard pressed on trying to defend what the founding fathers say many years ago. Why don't you defend
Mm-hmm.
that as well?
Exactly. It doesn't make none of this makes any sense.
Not at
It's
all.
good. It's gonna continue to not make any sense. And we can think about that while we take a little break, take a little breather. When we come back, we're going to talk about the January 6th committee and some other good stuff, more positive stuff on the horizon. So we'll be back.
And welcome back to 90.3 WMSA from Montclair. Terry.
Hi, we're back. This is
What?
so interesting with our little chain of command.
Honestly.
But welcome back, y'all. We're here and we're going to be talking about the January 6th committee returning to prime time again. Here's what you need to know as they return. The year since the House voted to create a select committee to probe the deadly January 6, 2021 insurrection has brought a cascade of revelations about the attack on the US Capitol and how and why it played out, often in excruciating detail. The public has now heard live testimony from the January 6 hearings and more than a dozen witnesses and seen clips from the recorded depositions of more than 40 others, including members of the Trump family, former administration officials, GOP officials from key battleground states, and members of the former president's legal team. The committee's last planned public hearing was held on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It has all the makings of a potential blockbuster. Tomorrow will be the panel's second primetime session, and effort to maximize viewership and attention. We'll make sure to keep you updated next week about what happens. The committee plans to zero in on Trump's conduct on January 6, 2021, focusing specifically on his response, or lack thereof, as rioters breached the Capitol walls and forced lawmakers to flee their chambers. Democratic Representative Elaine Luria of Virginia, who will be leading Thursday's hearing with GOP Representatives Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, told CNN the committee will, quote, go through pretty much minute by minute, end quote, and then president's reactions or actions. I'm kind of really frustrated at this trial. The more stuff that comes out about January 6th, I am shocked, and I know some people aren't shocked, but I am just at how incredibly mismanaged isn't even a strong enough word to describe the action or lack of action of the former president, the absolutely heinous actions of everybody else involved. And as more stuff continues to come out about what happened that day, I lose more and more faith about the strength of our leadership. And we just gotta wait and see as primetime airs more of this January 6th hearing, because it is a potential blockbuster, as I said. So I don't know what to expect, but I don't expect anything good.
Yo, it's like like you said, it's just more and more stuff that comes out about January 6th. It just sounds more and more fake.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, does it really like it's like, oh, it's like one of those action movies just everything just happens for no apparent reason. Like, are you serious? Like, this happened? Because January 6th, I remember watching that. I was at work and just seeing it like, this cannot be this is unbelievable.
Exactly.
And it just first off, the whole idea of that happening, and then not having the lack of like you said, not having the response, the lack thereof response from our leadership. It's very uneasy and very unsettling, because if our leaders aren't going to do anything about it, what
Who will?
What does that give us?
Exactly. And what's crazy about it is the whole thing's crazy. I'm like, what's crazy about it is this, and this. But it's the fact that when I heard that Donald Trump wanted to join them and was quite literally grabbing the wheel as one of his drivers or security guards was trying to drive him away from the scene, he was grabbing the wheel to turn it and abruptly turn it to go join his supporters, or how nobody called the National Guard for a really, really long time or at all. It's just like, how did y'all just let that happen? I just don't understand. And it just shows how much power a person can have over a group of people, because we literally just saw a group of normal people like the rest of us, complete civilians, storm a government building with hardly any repercussions in the moment. You weren't getting stormed by the SWAT or National Guard, or there was only like a few security guards at the time, and those people were quite literally horrified that the fact there was one person against thousands of people on the next door and like behind the door.
Like they literally walked in. Like
They walked in.
Like first off, isn't it like this? They were walking. If had they stormed, there would have been a lot more casualties. Whole lot more casualties. If they had ran and just tried to charge them, like there would have been a whole lot more casualties.
Yeah.
However, at the same token, it's like, what do you want? It's one against a billion, one against hundreds of thousands. Like, what do you want me to do in that situation?
Yeah, it's just how do those people handle that situation? Is supposed to like protect the people inside, but also try to make sure not too many casualties are happening. I wouldn't want to be in that position, that's for sure. With my little self, I'm not. I don't know how I'd be able to handle that.
My little self too. I can't handle that either.
Yeah.
No, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I just remember like that day being so shocked, January 6th, that everything happened. I was at work too. I was so shocked. But as you said, Cam, it feels fake. The more information that comes out, me and Lara were talking about it last week on the Morning Buzz, and all the things that were coming out about Donald Trump's reaction, he threw his lunch against the wall. I was like, this is fake. Like, people are just saying this now. Like, it's crazy.
It feels like a movie. I just really feel like nothing. Like it just all feels like a simulation. Like
That
how
part.
the simulation, right? It's just you're a child. You are a child, but quite literally, big baby man runs an entire dangerous group of people. I just cannot fathom that. It's horrifying, the state of the world today, the state of our country today, because you look at these things and you're like, we are quite literally a laughing stock. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to say, yeah, we have a government building. It's where a lot of our laws get passed, and people just walked in and terrorized everybody in it, and no one did anything about it.
But can we just, what's really ironic about this whole thing is that all of those people could just storm into the Capitol over there. Nothing happens. But if there's a peaceful protest of Democrats, then it's instantly shut down. But when it's everyone else storming over there, then that's fine.
Yeah, based on absolute nonsense. They came in with what? We're going to take back the election. What does that even mean? First off, two, you're flying Confederate flags, you're flying Trump flags, and you're flying all these harmful messages around. That doesn't look like a message of love and peace and happiness that other people try to spread. But this is okay? Doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that the math isn't mathing.
America loves having a double standard. Just at the end of the day, that's what they love. America loves a double standard, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, it surely is.
It's the world we live in, and I hate it. I hate every minute of living in that kind of world.
Amen, buddy. But we got through most of the politics. It's really unfortunate, but hopefully that in the coming weeks we get more information and we can continue to combat all of these issues that are going on in our country. But now we can move on to a little bit more positive things.
Yahoo!
I think something happened with my girl. No way. Not the B-board. I think something happened with my girl J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Amanda, do you want to talk about it? Because I'm really excited.
Yes, this actually, I was not expecting this at all. So when I saw this morning, I was like, oh, okay. Let's talk about it. So Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck were wed Saturday in a late-night Las Vegas drive-through chapel, culminating a relationship that stretched over 2 decades in 2 separate romances and headlined countless tabloid covers. Lopez announced their marriage Sunday in her newsletter for fans with the heading, quote, "We did it." Lopez initially made their engagement public in April in the same newsletter on the J-Lo. Lopez wrote that the couple flew to Las Vegas on Saturday, stood in line for their license with 4 other couples, and were wed just after midnight at a little white wedding chapel, a chapel boasting a drive-through, quote, "tunnel of love," Lopez said a Bluetooth speaker played their brief march down the aisle. She called it the best night of their lives. For those who don't know, forgot, or were alive but too young to remember, Lopez and Affleck famously dated in the early 2000s, spawning the nickname, quote, Bennifer, before rekindling their romance last year. They earlier started together in 2003's Gil- what is that? Gigli?
Giggly, I
No,
think.
it's usually.
Usually.
Gigli. And 2004 Jersey's Girl. Sorry, I've never heard of that before.
I've
so
never heard of it either. Don't worry about it.
Really?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. But anyway, um
Lord.
Affleck yeah, Affleck married Jennifer Garner in 2005, with whom he shares 3 children, and they divorced in 2018. Lopez has been married 3 times before. She was briefly married to Ojani Noah from 1997 to 1998 and to Chris Judd from 2001 to 2003. She and singer Mark Anthony were married for a decade after the wedding in 2004 and share 14-year-old twins together. News of their nuptials first spread Sunday after the Clark County's clerk official office in Nevada showed their pair obtain a marriage license that was processed Saturday. The marriage license filing showed that Lopez plans to take the name Jennifer Affleck, which
Whoa.
is crazy to
Whoa.
me. I don't know if that's crazy to y'all, but that's crazy to me. She's not J-Lo.
JF.
JF.
That's crazy.
I don't.
Whoa.
I'm kind of happy for them though, because there was a long time between them like initially breaking up and then getting back together. And
Mhm.
a lot of people were like, I remember reporting on this back when it first was announced, and I was just like, oh my God, because it had been so long after that breakup where it was just like, yeah, nah, like they're done. But a lot of people were like, it might, right person, wrong time might actually be a thing. And
I'm
they're
saying though. I'm saying though.
they're an
I'm
example of
saying
it.
though.
What was it like? It was like 10 plus years, like
Oh yeah.
in between that. So that's huge. And on top of that, JLo has a kid or kids.
They both have kids.
They both have kids. Wow, good for them. Honestly, I'm glad that they had their little Vegas wedding. They're back, and Jennifer Affleck is here? Question mark. That's crazy. I
That
can't.
is
She's
crazy.
But
I'm saying though. Right person, wrong time is a thing. I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
tell him, Cam. Spill your heart out.
Because one, as you see right now, that with the Jennifer Affleck and Jennifer and Ben Affleck situation right now, I have been in. That's too much personal stuff. That's
No way.
But long story short, I'm kind of in a situation like that myself. But hey, it's all good.
He starts crying. He gets emotional.
All right, stop it.
But congratulations to them. I'm looking. Honestly, I kind of, I wish she kind of would have kept her name, because Jennifer Lopez has a little, spicy spice. Because now I see Jennifer Affleck, I'm picturing a Caucasian woman. But her happiness comes first. I will always be Team JLo, and that is fine. That is fine. That's always gonna be fine.
Oh yeah. Also, yeah.
Also, yeah, exactly.
But this right here, you know how I said that the January 6 nonsense is Hollywood. This right here is a true Hollywood story right here.
That's so real.
Like this is a movie. This is a movie in itself, because one, it's like they broke up, it's over, man, down the dumps, right back to like it's like a happy fairy tale ending right there.
That's true. And JLo has been in a number of romance movies. So I think it's kind of weird to be living in your own romance movie, but good for them. They deserve their little fairy tale ending.
They did the thing.
For sure. But on that note, we're gonna take the shortest eensy beensy little break, and we'll be back for Am I in the Wrong, which is always my favorite segment. So we'll be back very, very shortly.
I'll be right And welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Thank you, Cam. We're back, and we're going to get into Am I in the Wrong? My favorite segment. Never gets old. Love hearing these messy situations. If you don't know what Am I in the Wrong is, where have you been? But if this is new for you, I'll explain it, of course. Join us as we deep dive into the world of Reddit, messy situations. These stories are not our own personal experiences. These stories are from users on Reddit, and we're going to read them and give our opinions of whether these people are in the wrong or not. I hope you guys are ready because I just love these stories. So shout out to Lara for this first one. Starts out with somebody getting their wisdom teeth out. She just got her wisdom teeth out. I hope you're okay, Queen. We love you out there. She says hello from Zoomland. But
Zoomland
this
is
person,
crazy.
Zoomland is crazy. MetaMates is crazy.
Stop it.
So this first story, am I in the wrong for ruining my brother's marriage because his wife left me at the pool? That doesn't sound too good so far. So I, 19 female, had surgery a couple days ago to get all 4 of my wisdom teeth out. Ouch. They told me to have a responsible adult drive me to the appointment. My mom was on a work trip and couldn't take me, so I asked my sister-in-law, Bree, 24, that's not her real name, if she could do it, as the whole thing would only take like an hour or 2. I even offered gas money because the dental office is about 45 minutes away. I would have asked my brother, but he works during the day, and while Bree is a stay-at-home mom to their 2-year-old daughter, who I think was at Bree's mom's house. Bree agreed to take me to my appointment, and the surgery went fine. Bree waited in the lobby for me to be done. When it came out of my anesthesia, I was very disoriented and nauseous, which I guess is normal. I don't really remember much of the drive, but it felt like not enough time passed before Bree got out of the car and told me to come with her. I was really out of it and just followed her because the alternative was staying in a hot car. Long story short, we were at a pool. I was really confused, but once we were there, the gate Bree basically parked me at one of those little table benches and said that she'd be back in a while. I was still not trying to puke and really dizzy from the heat. It was 90 plus degrees and the drugs. So I asked her to take me home, but she wouldn't. I guess since it was her day off and she didn't have my niece, she was meeting friends at the pool. I was starting to feel really sick and on the verge of passing out or having a panic attack, so I called my brother. I don't think he could understand me between the meds and stuff in my mouth, but he hung up and I guess called Bree. She came stomping back over, cursing and yelling at me, and took me back to the car. I passed out on our drive home, but when we arrived and my brother had left work and met us in the driveway, he was screaming at Bree and she was crying. I was still pretty disoriented, but my brother took me back home and stayed with me until the meds wore off. That's when he told me he's divorcing Bree because of what she did, plus some other things he didn't go into detail about. It's been a few days since then, and Bree has been blowing up my phone telling me how awful I am and how tattling destroyed her family. Part of me feels bad because of my niece, and I wonder if I should have just dealt with it and waited for her to be done at the pool instead of calling my bro and causing problems. So am I in the wrong?
No.
No, girl.
No.
You are absolutely fine. Imagine getting all 4 of your wisdom teeth out. Maybe Lara, drop in the chat. How are you feeling right now? Because I feel like I would be not the best. I would want to go home and not sit in 90-degree heat.
I'm on a counter right now, so it's gonna be hurting.
Lara's on day 5, she said, but
Day 5 is wild.
day 5 is wild, but that's painful. Oh my gosh. And
Nah,
that this
just
Bree,
just to get the teeth pulled the day of, and Bree said, "Nah, you good, family."
right? She said,
What?
"Walk it off." She said, "Walk it off. You're fine."
Rub some dirt on it.
Right, rub some
What?
dirt on it. Seriously, like I don't think that makes quite a bit of sense. Y'all seen videos of people getting off of anesthesia after they get their wisdom teeth pulled. They need to go home. They need to go home immediately. They be talking. They don't know what they're saying. They're all goofy and stuff. And you think it's okay to just leave someone in that state in 90-degree heat and they're all dizzy and quite literally about to be sick? That is so gross. And on top of that, that's your husband's sibling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that you would treat a family member with a little bit more decency and respect after they just undergone surgery, but it's not giving common sense right now.
I feel like doing that to anyone though is messed up. Like after
Yeah,
a surgery, especially, how could you just bring someone to a pool on a very hot day and just leave them there, especially when they're feeling sick? Like that is messed up. I don't know how the sister-in-law could feel she's in the right in this situation because it's messed up.
exactly. And I kind of get where the poster's coming from. Like, I would still somehow feel bad, even though you shouldn't feel bad
I don't
because
yo.
you shouldn't feel bad, but I would feel bad for the niece. I would feel
Mm.
bad for the niece just because, it's hard for a kid to undergo their family getting a divorce. But if honestly, if this situation was the straw that broke the camel's back, there was a lot more problems going on that we don't know.
Yeah.
Let's be
No,
real.
like that's why bro said he didn't want to get into detail because like that's absurd.
Exactly, because
Like
I don't even know how. I don't know if I would be able to control my anger if someone treated my family member or anybody that I cared about in this way, because that person could have very well gotten very hurt or sick, God forbid, because they were alone. And it's just like, this is a health risk, it's a safety risk.
it's a life
Not,
risk.
yeah, not only that, if I was in this situation, knowing me, if I was just left alone and I started to feel sick, I would probably wander off and walk to try and leave, and I would get lost, especially, she's on all the medication after getting her surgery. Like, how could she just leave her alone? Especially being
Yeah.
all loopy and stuff. Like, I would run away.
Um, run. Amanda's just like running from the pool. But seriously though, there are so many things that could have gone wrong, which I'm glad didn't go wrong for that person's safety, but they are not in the wrong. Reddit agrees. I'm glad Reddit agrees. I would be really concerned if they didn't agree.
Reddit W right there. Reddit W.
Yeah, Reddit dub. But I really want to get into the next one
Yeah,
because
the next one looks crazy.
it looks crazy. Amanda, do you want to take it?
Yeah, for sure. So, am I in the wrong for not allowing my daughter to be friends with my high school bully's son?
Oh god.
All right.
Oh god.
I have moved a year ago and unfortunately ended up moving not too far away from my high school bully. My high school bully made my life really tough in high school, and I still hate her for that. She was an awful, manipulative person who would pretend to be your friend and share all secrets to gain popularity. My daughter, 15, started hanging out with her son, 16. They met at the skate park. My daughter started going to the skate park every day to see him and even got his phone number. My daughter got really close to him and ended up inviting him over, which was the first time I saw him, and something about him seemed very familiar, and it was very upsetting to me. A little over a week after my daughter and I go to the grocery store together, and we happen to see my high school bully and her son, of course, my daughter goes to say hello, and I just stand there glaring at her, trying to control my anger. She ends up recognizing me and greets me by my name and even had the audacity to apologize. I tell her it's a little too late for that and turn towards my daughter and tell her that she could say goodbye to her little friend because that will be the last time she'll see him. She looks at me confused and asks, "What do you mean?" So I explain to her that his mom is a bully and that she doesn't need that kind of influence in her life. My daughter looks visually upset, like she's almost on the verge of tears, and asks me for the keys so she can wait in the car. Later on that day, my husband, who's heard from my daughter about what happened, says it was very unfair for me to stop our daughter from seeing her new friend just because I have issues with his mom, and that seemed like a nice gentleman. I told him that I feel as if my concerns about my daughter are about around being around such toxic people are veiled. He replied back telling me it had been years since high school and that I need to get over myself because people change and life moves on. Maybe he's right. Maybe I shouldn't hold my daughter back from a good friendship just because of some issues I had in the past. So, am I in the wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What? I'm sitting here trying to not trying to explode right now. What?
He's so like he's so
What?
mad right now.
What?
What's going through your head? What's going through your head?
So right now, I'm trying to think. Her daughter's 15. So it's like, okay, one, you gotta think, you're 15 years old. So it's been at least 15 years since you've been in high school.
I would, yeah.
You would imagine so. Like
Hopefully longer than that.
Yeah, hopefully
between
longer.
the child.
Hopefully longer. But at that point, it's like, 15 years? Like people from my high school now, they you bully me. I don't care. Right? Like they hit me. They reach out to me and ask me how am I doing? Like they reach out to me, ask me questions of, hey, what can I do to to improve? To like they ask me for advice nowadays. People that used to bully me ask me for advice.
Right.
I don't, I could care even less if they bullied me. Time pass, people change. Time passes all the time. Like, why are you out here trying to disrespect somebody? Well, disrespect your somebody's child because something that they did to you many moons ago.
Many
moons ago.
When the dinosaurs were alive.
Exactly.
And I feel like at this situation, the children, whatever beef you have with the parent, the children shouldn't have to suffer for it because those are completely different people. As long as everybody's getting treated fairly and that your kid is also not getting bullied as a result of this, leave them alone. Let them have fun. They're young.
Live.
It doesn't make any sense. And I feel like the mom, like, I'm not gonna lie, trauma from bullying, like it sticks with you for a while. It stays. But that's just something at this point, being that it was so long ago, that she's just gonna have to deal with it with her support system, with her therapist or something like that. And even since this person's mom, like since the mom even said
she apologized. She apologized.
Like, if you have a sit-down conversation with her, like, be real about it.
Get some tea. Drink some tea together.
Exactly. And maybe you will be better because of it. Maybe the relationship will be better because of it, and you can let that go for yourself and not have to have your kid be upset about losing out on a friend for something both of them didn't even do. Why are they suffering because of somebody else's actions? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It baffles me. I'm baffled.
Right.
Yeah.
Beyond baffled by this.
Besties with my bully.
Like,
yeah, I mean, I understand that she like doesn't like the bully. I mean, she doesn't have to like her, but she shouldn't force her daughter not to be friends with someone just because of that.
Exactly.
Especially if they're really good friends and the son is nice to her. I don't really see.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's hard nowadays to find a nice gentleman nowadays.
A nice gentleman.
Nowadays. Am I right or wrong?
Kim is in the right for this story.
There are not many good guys out there anymore in the world.
Tell him, Cam.
So for him to treat her daughter really well, and he's gonna be like, nah.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
not even like they're dating
what?
or anything. It's just like they're friends right now. It's not even anything serious. Like,
Exactly.
just let them go. They met at a skate park. She said she was a skater boy. But like, come on. It's just so innocent. It's not anything serious, and you don't have to put your own grudges and trauma onto your kid for your kid to shoulder because you haven't let it go yet. And that's thing that a lot of parents do not realize, that your kid does not have to shoulder your trauma because you're mad. Like, we need to move on. We need to go to therapy. To our listeners, therapy is okay.
Shout out to my kids because y'all live y'all lives.
Shout out.
I have no kids. I have no kids right now, but shout out to my future children. I got y'all. Ooh.
On that note.
Oh yeah, Reddit said. Well, by the way, Reddit said that she's in the wrong, big time.
Yeah, Reddit agrees, of course, because I would hope so, because it just makes sense. And little Cameron's running around is kind of crazy. Don't want to think about it. It's a little scary. Moving on, we have some really weird, funny stories going on after Am I in the Wrong? Amanda, do you want to take our first one? It seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, sure. All right. So, a British movie theater chain is offering free tickets to people with red hair for 2 days amid a heat wave in the country.
Stop.
Wait.
No way. Please tell us more.
All right. So Showcase Cinemas announced on its website and social media accounts that redheads can get free tickets to the movies of their choice on Monday and Tuesday as part of the chain's, quote, sun protecting flicks or SPF promotion. The website states, quote, experts say the UK is soon to witness the hottest ever days on record, and since redheads are often more vulnerable than most to the sun rays, we're giving them shelter from the sun inside our fully air-conditioned cinema screens to catch the latest blockbusters for no cost at all, end quote. The promotion is limited to 1 ticket per day for each red-haired person.
That's fire.
I
That's fire.
this just in, everybody. Redheads are real. They're out there. They
And
may
they're
not,
watching movies for free.
yeah, because they may not be in the sun, but they're somewhere in a movie theater. Apparently, they're all in there. That's crazy. SPF is kind of clever. I'm gonna give it to them.
Oh no, that's genius.
I really like that, but I don't even know how to feel about this. Like, they're kind of like, they have like a scale. Like, oh, your head's like kind of auburn, not really red.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get in there. Or like somebody comes in with like dyed hair. Oh my god, could you imagine? I would wear a wig. I
would spray my hair. What?
Seriously, they're like, you didn't say what shade of red, you know? So
I got the
I'm
crimson.
showing up.
See, I got the crimson John right now. Like,
Exactly. You know, I obviously grew this out of my head. It's so natural. Give me my free ticket, please. The movies are expensive. In this economy, wig.
They also never specified. They just said free tickets to people with red hair. So it wasn't like it has to be natural. It could be a wig.
Yo, I'm about to like Wendy's.
No, fully. I just imagine, you know how with the Minions movie, everybody rolled up in suits. Everybody's gonna roll up in like a red wig. That's gonna be the new thing. And I low-key very much here for it, and I hope people actually do that. SPF promotion. Like,
that's fire.
We need to do our part to protect the gingers of the world. It's such a worthy cause, and I'm getting emotional talking about it. I can't believe it. Shout out to the gingers out there.
Shout out ginger community.
You're real. We hear you and we see you. Well, anyway, we are doing great. Moving on to our next story. Something about South Dakota schools and litter boxes. And
what? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There won't be any litter boxes in Meade, South Dakota schools to accommodate students who self-identify as animals. All right. This announcement comes after a district patron asked the Meade School Board for some clarification on the matter at their meetings last week. Randall Williamson questioned if litter boxes would be placed in the restrooms at Sturgis Brown High School. Following the meeting, Meade Superintendent Wayne Wormstadt said, quote, "The Meade School District does not have litter boxes and we will not be putting litter boxes in the school," end quote. So far this year, similar myths about students identifying as animals and litter boxes have made rounds in Iowa, Michigan, and Texas, prompting the same denials from school administrators.
Yo.
Why is this a story is what I need to know. We need to clarify that there won't be litter boxes in a high school. Come on.
That's crazy.
I feel like we're walking.
What is going on in the world?
I don't know. I feel like we're walking a line. How do y'all feel about people self-identifying as animals? I need to make sense of this.
My opinion, I find that strange, but that is my opinion. I mean, whatever makes you happy, I don't care. You could identify as an animal if you want. Like, I'm proud of you if that makes you happy, but to me, that is strange. And using a litter box in public is even weirder.
Yo, you do you, but like, don't bite me.
That's the one thing. You could do whatever you want. Don't bite Cam. Don't bite anybody, please. But yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable. I will say uncomfortable just because it is strange.
You know how to use the restroom, yet you opt to choose to get a litter box. My head hurts. My head hurts right now.
Seriously, like, this is almost
what
there's certain things that you can identify however you want in terms of.
You can be whatever you like.
Yeah, if it makes sense. For example, gender is a spectrum. Gender isn't even real. Let's be real. Sexuality, a spectrum. in terms of those things, those are identity markers that you can take hold of in any way, shape, or form, whether you label yourself or not. Gender is a concept, as Laura has said, but you're still a human being. At
that part.
That part, like, you can't really change that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when people try to identify as like transracial and they're white or something, and like, what's her name? Rachel Dozel, for example. You can't change those inherent things about yourself. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's coming out correctly.
No, I understand you
You're
completely.
still gonna be a human at the end of the day. Gender isn't real. Sexuality is a spectrum. Those things are so interchangeable, but these are things that are quite literally inherent to your being. Doesn't quite change. Does that make sense? Does everybody agree, disagree?
No, I
That makes
agree with
sense. That
you.
makes sense.
Yeah, so like, I guess Mazel Tov. There's no litter boxes in the mead schools. Great. I think we've really made progress in our country now. I think this is really groundbreaking for everybody. Oh, also, by the way, you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, where litter boxes are also not on our campus, just to clarify that as well.
Are you sure about that? You haven't been here, Matt. You haven't been here in a little bit.
I don't know. They might they might start a composting initiative. So if that goes through, maybe there will be. I'm kidding. But
Yikes.
on that note, this has been the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My name is Terry Dickerson. I'm here with Amanda Gaudiosi, Cameron Martin, Ashley Ramos. We had a really interesting show today. We had a lot going on. We had politics, we had weird stuff, we had entertainment stuff, but it's now time to bid thee adieu. And please make the world a better place, because we need it. Be kind to each other. So
love each other. Love one another.
Love one another. Please, please, please. I hope everybody has a great morning. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next time. Bye, y'all.